Three, two, one.
What's up, everyone? Dan here, Crypto Capital Venture, February 17th, 2020. Bitcoin. Is it putting in a lower high? Is Bitcoin going to set up to see a new low? I mean, it could be a higher low. It could still be bullish, but is it happening? Is Bitcoin not going to continue on its way to see some parabolic gains into the bull market? It's a question we have to explore. If you've been watching this channel for a while now, the buy the dip mentality is something just to have in the back of your mind. Be prepared for it. Let's jump into the charts and let's talk about this. Hypothetically, if Bitcoin were to see resistance here at this upper trend line, putting in this lower high from the swing high in June, Bitcoin could be setting up a pattern that could be extremely bullish. And that is this basically symmetrical triangle leading into the halving, the apex of this leading into the halving. And this could set up something very bullish for Bitcoin. I want to talk about a key area for Bitcoin in terms of this speculative chart. That is a swing low Bitcoin put in December to the swing high that we just kind of coming out of and retracing from a little bit. And I want to just plot this Fibonacci retracement on the screen and take a look at it because it's something we should all be prepared for. I'm not saying it's going to happen. It's 100% a possibility. And here we are with the 786 to the 786 Fibonacci, this green channel. This is a support area for Bitcoin, a key Fibonacci support area, one that Bitcoin visits over and over on the daily, the weekly, even the 4-hour chart. And here we are right around 8,000 down to around $7,200 potentially for Bitcoin, confluent with this lower trend line that Bitcoin has in place since April 2019. This could be an extremely bullish setup for Bitcoin. And I want to do something. I want to chart this kind of compared to the last Bitcoin cycle. And I've been doing this a lot on the weekly chart because I think it's very relevant. Let's look at this. And I'm going to kind of be zoomed out here, but it really helps illustrate the similarities. Bitcoin coming out of that last bear market in 2015 had a swing high, right? Here's the swing high, and it's different, right? It didn't test the upper trend line before consolidating like we did in this most previous cycle. Bitcoin just flew up to that upper trend line. That didn't happen last time, but what did happen, Bitcoin, its swing high fell into a bullish triangle setup for Bitcoin to really see its gains going into halving. Now, if we put aside that yellow upper trend line on both of these patterns and we just talk about, the swing high that Bitcoin saw in that last bear market, out of that last bear market, and we put into place the swing high out of this most recent bear market, what are we looking for? We're looking for Bitcoin to fall into a similar bullish setup like it did last time. An ascending triangle, a symmetrical triangle, and then we start seeing, well, here we are. It's on the screen right now, and this is what it looks like. This is a potential symmetrical triangle for Bitcoin, and it's 100% in play, right? This lower trend line area is 100% in play. I know many people are very bullish on Bitcoin, especially as we're going into halving. We're at the upper trend lines here of multiple patterns, but it would be extremely silly and I believe unwise to not anticipate at the very least the potential for Bitcoin to retrace and come back down, right? And it would be extremely similar to what Bitcoin did in that last cycle from its own first swing high leading into that halving. I'm sorry, I'm moving around the screen a lot, but here we are. And you can see Bitcoin leading into the halving had its break maybe a couple months before that halving. So Bitcoin potentially lining up to do something similar. And if we kind of just chart the similarities from like that exact bear market low to the second touch to the upper trend line, right? And the breakout of this longer term upper trend line after halving, let's chart that and let's put it next to Bitcoin's current cycle. And here we are, that swing low Bitcoin. Look at the similarities right here. There's only one big difference, and that is basically how quick Bitcoin is moving this time around, right? Bitcoin really testing that upper trend line on this longer term upper trend line way quicker than it did last time, right? And this is what that looks like in the purple bars last time. Bitcoin testing that upper trend line and then finally breaking that upper trend line over here, right? So time frame wise, Bitcoin is kind of moving very similar, but a little quicker. And what we can anticipate is Bitcoin slows down a little bit and does consolidate leading into halving, right? As opposed to just continuing to go up into halving. We visit $7,000, $8,000, and then really going into halving, potentially Bitcoin sees its gains and breaks through the upper trend line right around, and this is a big key in terms of speculatively speaking, 76% to the apex of this longer term pattern. And if we remember, if we go back to this last cycle, I don't have it written down here, but right here, this break was 76% to the apex. A lot of similarities still in play for Bitcoin, and that's actually even considering Bitcoin has the possibility of retracing. What would a retrace look like if Bitcoin were to kind of come back down and put in a new swing low? We can look at price range wise what that looks like from where it is right now. That's another 20% or so for Bitcoin to the downside. That's pretty much nothing. That can happen very quickly for Bitcoin. I'm not sitting here saying it's going to happen, but I am sitting here saying just be ready for it. Why would you not be ready for it? Put it in the back of your mind. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm just sharing the data with you. If you're here and you're not a subscriber, hit the subscribe button. Would love to have you as part of the channel as we grow this thing. I appreciate you coming by. Hit the like button on the way out. It really means a lot to me. I appreciate you. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.